Drawing from reference versus drawing from imagination. I want to start off by saying that neither of them is good or bad. I don't actually believe it's good or bad. But I'm here to tell you why drawing from reference is bad for you. Fucking hilarious. But that's kind of it. So again, I'm serious. I'm not telling you that one of them is good or bad, but I'm gonna tell you why drawing from reference is probably hurting you because you're doing it wrong. It's not about doing it wrong, it's about the energy behind it that you're probably not aware of. So, this was actually the first point, which we're done with. Okay, the second point, let me see what I wrote down here. Okay, so the idea is draw from imagination first. The problem is, which I've talked about in other videos as well, when you draw from reference, is you are putting all your trust in outside of yourself. Is that proper English? You're putting your trust on the outside world to guide you. It's kind of like asking a question, what should I be doing now? And instead of finding the answer inside, which that's where the answer is, inside of you, and you know the answer, you're asking people outside for their opinion when you know already the answer, and you shouldn't be asking for others' opinion because they don't know the answer. That's the problem. So if you don't understand this, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Drawing from reference is the same thing. Mostly because you're coming from a place that right now I'm not good enough and I don't trust drawing just from my intuition. And probably, you know what, maybe you've tried it and it didn't work out and it turned like shit, like the image in your head with the image that you actually drew were not the same thing. Now, I'm talking about drawing, but maybe this can apply to any kind of craft. Actually, not maybe. It can apply, but I'm not sure how. Meaning, it's doing it your way, trusting yourself and doing it your way, versus doing what others tell you to do, other experts tell you to do. So, this is the first core issue. Is lack of trust, and you are trusting others in telling you what to do, meaning that people tell you that in order to be an artist and in order to know how to draw, you have to draw from reference first. And the first thing is the shame of drawing from reference. That's another shadow. So having a fear of drawing from reference is actually shadow, and that's bad as well. Like, it's a fear, and fear is always, that's actually what shadow is, and it's controlling you instead of you controlling your fear. And you cannot be, the more fear you have, the less in control of your life you are. So that's why we're trying here. That's what we're doing, actually, not trying. We're eliminating fears and limitations. So if you are afraid of drawing from reference, do that if that's your fear. But here's the thing. For most people, that's not the problem. The problem is, because that's why people think that I keep stirring this one direction and blaming the other direction. I'm not. It's just that all the artist world is that direction, and I want to turn so much this other opposite direction in order for them to at least turn a bit and see that there's another way. So most artists are where they don't trust themselves, and they live in the future. They always live in becoming better in the future, meaning that they don't see the real value that they have right now. They always try to improve and never be satisfied. But I don't want to say satisfied because I don't want you to understand that it's about settling, because it's not. It's about exploring the true value that you have. Because here's the thing, even for the people who have tried to draw from imagination, they lack the trust. that's why it didn't turn out, because it's kind of like trying something and you're not all in, it's not gonna turn out the way you want it to. You're not trusting it, so you're not with all your energy moving towards that thing. So if your goal is to draw an artwork that you fucking love out of, like, just from imagination, you do that, and you know how you do not fail? By not stopping until you succeed. You just draw at it until it turns out. Drawing from reference, you are also drawing real life. Your imagination is way more than that. Like, even drawing, let's say I want to draw a strawberry. If I have a strawberry in front of me in order to draw, I'm going to try to mimic that. I'm going to see a lot of details that I was not aware of in my head, right? That's the argument that people give. That's how you learn how to draw, because when actually seeing it in real life, you see things that you miss from your memory. Now, here's the thing. First of all, if you're an artist, you don't want to draw reality. When you want to draw super realistically, you are just hiding from your true talent, because that's not the true expression of yourself. Because if we want to draw, we want a drawing of something super realistic, we just fucking take a photo of it. If I draw the strawberry from my head, I am drawing that strawberry that went through my filter, through me, through my essence. And what I'm getting out is the memory that I have of that strawberry. So what I'm going to draw is gonna be way more personal, and it's gonna be more my style and my honest expression of myself in that strawberry, because I'm drawing it from my memory and through my filters. And in the same time, you can even go totally out of control with not painting it in real life, just painting it, let's paint it or draw it how crazy we want, and yet still identify it as a strawberry. You know what I'm saying? That's actually where the challenge lies, not in drawing something super realistically, but rather how crazy can we draw this strawberry out of this world, completely weird, and yet people recognizing it as a strawberry. That's actually the question you should be asking yourself, because the brain, when it's identifying something as an object, it's identifying the core elements, features that make it what it is. And that's how you store it in your head. And it's fascinating to see that different people will notice different thing of the same object. And that's why it's so personal when you draw from imagination, because then you start drawing those things that got stuck in your head, got folded in your head, those things that you've noticed, those features. What makes a strawberry be recognized as a strawberry? Maybe I can make a blue strawberry. Will people still recognize it as a strawberry? Is it the seeds that make it a strawberry, or is it maybe the color red, or is it the shape, is it the size? What is it? How far wild crazy can I go with people still recognizing it as being a strawberry? Like, that's the mindfuck. And that's also where the personal experience comes into play. And that's what we're doing with art, with anything, with talent, with your craft. We are all expressing ourselves. We are expressing ourselves. That's what it is. Actually, I don't know why I'm looking at this, because I have nothing else written here. So what I'm actually trying to tell you in order to have a style, to have a personality, to have something to say, start drawing from imagination. But go all the way. Don't give up just because it's not turning out from the beginning as you wanted to. Don't give up because it took you 3 days and it still looks like crap. Don't give up. Just keep on moving forward until you do reach what you reach your goal of what you wanted to draw. And don't get too attached, because that's why I made this group. Talent is your mistress. Come into the Facebook group. It's free. And that's where we talk about the balance, the super soft, subtle balance between flow, letting it all come out, and control. Don't control it too much, because if you're forcing it, it's not going to turn out. And if you're attached to a certain outcome, your goal is supposed to just guide you, but then let the artwork actually come to life and even surprise you. It's fascinating when you start doing that. And here's the thing. You can even access, because that's the limitations that we're working on right there to kill. It's not the obvious limitations. It's the limitations that keep you from accessing information that you didn't know you have. You can draw things that you didn't remember seeing in this lifetime, or never paid attention to, or maybe just seen like a split second and you weren't paying attention to it. Your brain actually collects all the information, like visual and, now I don't have the words, but from all the 5 senses. But if you would be conscious, aware of all the information that is gathered by the brain, you would go crazy, like literally. So you are consciously aware of very little, but you can still access the other information, and even information that is beyond our 3D reality. And that's exactly what we are unlocking. That's the limitations that we are crushing in order for you to express way more than just this 3D reality, because that's not what we're doing with drawing. That's not what we're doing with our talent. It's not about doing what others are doing and trying to stand out while doing what others are doing. How the fuck do you want to do that? It's about doing you. And the first thing in order to do you is to start to understand you and to discover yourself. And you do that by trusting yourself and seeing non-judgmentally, observing what you come up with in your craft. Okay, so this is what I want to do, and keep going at it until you achieve it. But in the same time, be aware of the things that pop up in your head and the turns you are taking and how you are navigating everything. By turning to reference from the beginning, because that's what people tell you. Oh, you have talent, you have to start putting 10,000 hours, and after you're done with doing studies and sketches for 10,000 hours, you can call yourself an artist and draw, I don't know, whatever, anatomy or whatever, cars or spaceships or whatever. That's fucking bullshit. Like, you are limiting yourself. It's like buying a new camera without making the most out of the camera that you already have. And let me tell you, the problem is that, and why actually drawing from reference is the problem, is the fact that the genius lies within. It's not in the reference. It's not on the outside. You are trying to get to your genius by avoiding your genius, because you're afraid of it, although you are not aware that you are afraid. But that's the sad truth with artists. And I'm also going to tell you this because I started talking about this with other artists, and a lot of them seem very triggered by this and offended by what I'm saying. And whenever you are offended by something or you feel attacked by anything, it means that you see truth in that thing that is triggering you. And you are just not allowing yourself to believe that, because that seems like a threat to all your belief systems. And you feel that you've been doing so much of what you don't want to do just because other people told you to, and you don't want to believe that you did it for nothing. And if you studied for a very long time and did all those traditional practicing with studies and so on, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that you will have a lot more shadow around your craft and you're gonna have more limitations. But it's not like every experience that you go through is making you who you are, and you are going to be using all of that. So there is no need for regret, or nothing is in vain. Everything is for a reason. So that's no way to go about it either, to think that everything that I did so far is for nothing. No, nothing is for nothing. It's just better late than never to start finding the answers within, trusting yourself, and seeing the value in what you can do right now. Because you are just turning to references and just sketching and trying to get better for what exactly? When are you going to be better? Because that's a mindset. It's not something, it's a mindset meaning that you're never going to get there. You're always going to want to be better. And that's not what's gonna make you improve. What makes you improve is not the energy of I'm not good enough. It's actually the opposite. When you value yourself, you start to see the value without the outside approval, and you start to be detached of everything, of having a style, of needing a certain style, of drawing like that person, of having the success of the other person, of drawing in a certain way, of drawing in a certain amount of time, of whatever. You will be so detached of all of this, and that's when you're starting to let your talent speak for itself. That's when you're going to start to become free and actually express your true talent. And that's how you improve, by genuinely wanting to explore more. Exploration and play is what makes you improve. And if you want to improve that way, and you understand the truth in what I'm saying, join me in Talent is Your Mistress, my free Facebook group, or we're gonna start a challenge soon in there. And if you want to go the paid route, if you're very committed, I have a group program, or working with me one-on-one. For those, contact me in private. Okay, guys.